Hello YouTube, Oliver G here from the Earful Tower. You are about to see a lovely walk through the iconic streets of Montmartre in the 18th arrondissement, all the way up to the Sacre Coeur and everything around there. What you're about to hear is what was the third episode of our countdown season on the podcast, the Earful Tower podcast, and this is where my wife and I spent 24 hours in each of the Paris districts. We went from 20 through to 1. So this is the third episode, and this is really where it started to get popular when we released it on the podcast, because the 18th is really a highlight of the city. So you'll hear everything that we found, everything we recommend in a district we used to live in for 2 years, and you'll see this beautiful walk, kind of slow TV, walking you through the city of Paris. This YouTube season, the whole season, is brought to you by LivTours. Now, I asked the LivTours team for their recommendation in the 18th arrondissement, their top recommendation. Here's what they said. In the 18th arrondissement, it's all about Montmartre. This I agree entirely. The artistic hilltop neighborhood with its winding cobblestone streets. In Montmartre, you'll feel like you're in a French village, complete with still active windmills and the only commercial vineyard in Paris. A stroll through these streets will leave you longing to be an artist, or at least go back in time to rub elbows with Ernest Hemingway, Gertrude Stein, Pablo Picasso, Van Gogh, and the like. If you want to get the inside scoop on all the corners of this charming and bohemian neighborhood, join us for a guided walking tour. Thanks to LivTours for sponsoring this episode. You'll find their Montmartre tour and all their Paris tours at livtours.com. Also in the description right below, incidentally, in the description below everything we mention, you'll find all the addresses, all the names, and all the tours from LivTours. And now, let's go to Montmartre. Let me tell of a time when the world was in rhyme with the sound of our laughter. Montmartre hanged with flowers for far-forgotten hours of hunger and of love, unaware in our youth of the sobering truth of the years that came after. We laughed at common men, for we were heroes then, and heaven smiled above. La Bohème, poor hungry you, poor hungry me. La Bohème, see the old world that could not see. Those were the words of Charles Aznavour, La Bohème, singing about Montmartre, a district of the 18th arrondissement of Paris. My name's Oliver G. I'm
Lina Norden G.
This is the Earful Tower, and we're about to take you to the streets of Montmartre. Aznavour. Charles Aznavour. It should be A-H-H-H Aznavour, because that's the feeling he elicits in me.
Yeah, okay.
Charles Aznavour, the late French singer, sang that song La Bohème about Montmartre. It's a sad song, actually.
It is. It's very melancholic.
But
Did you feel melancholic?
Funny that you say that. I did. It was weird to be back. For you guys at home who are new around here, Lena and I lived 2 years in the heart of Montmartre.
In the heart of Montmartre.
The heart of Montmartre.
Exactly.
And we love it. But,
yeah,
we had
special
to move,
place.
Had to move because the apartment was small.
When we outgrew it.
Literally with an extra person in the family. But how did it feel for you to be back in our old neighborhood?
I loved it. Mm-hmm. It was so nice. I mean, I don't think I've been back for a year, which is crazy because we live in the same city. Yeah. But being back and with a baby, with a stroller that comes with a baby, made it very obvious. What time and place.
Yeah, Montmartre is the opposite. Hilly stairs, small footpaths and sidewalks.
Tiny.
That's going to hurt the accessibility score later.
It sure will.
Yeah. But an important note about this particular episode, similar to how we focused on the canal in the 19th, in the 20th, we sort of tried to go everywhere.
I know. Very ambitious back then.
Yeah. But for this one, like how we focused on the canal in the last one, we focused on Montmartre. My first idea was to focus over the hill and not do any of the popular stuff. And I thought, come on, all.
Yeah, don't be ridiculous.
People go to the 18th for Montmartre, so let's try and see it with new eyes.
Yes.
Let's see things that we didn't catch in our 2 years there.
Exactly. And if it's new to us, hopefully, even if you're a seasoned Parisian or a Paris traveler, hopefully we can bring something new to you.
Well, I sure hope so.
Yeah.
And that's what we decided from the beginning. And speaking of Parisians and travelers to Paris, I want to say thank you from the beginning to the Patreon supporters. And the reason I say it early is because you're about to hear their voices. Because in this visit, in our 24 hours to the 18th, we did a meetup at the rooftop of the Terrass Hotel. Sweeping views.
Amazing views.
I said to everyone, guys, I'm going to press record on my phone right now. Say any message. Maybe you'll do it in sync.
Just random.
Yeah, randomly. We'd had a cocktail.
We did.
Do you want to hear what they said?
Who needs the Eiffel Tower when you got the Earful Tower?
That was fun. Thanks to everyone who showed up. Now, I wanted to bring that up early as well because that rooftop terrace, which is stunning, that is an undiscovered secret for a lot of people who live in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it's true.
You can go up there I always think it's crazy. If you're in Montmartre, don't go to an average-looking coffee shop for a cafe. Either find one of the good ones, or go up for an average coffee in a spectacular place like that.
Yes.
It's always empty.
Yeah, so either you have great coffee or like stunning place.
And we learned our lesson in where to stay from the last districts because this is a big undertaking. We've learned staying in a hotel with a baby, traveling, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. We chose to do this, but I had this realization that if you want to make the most, and I'm learning how to be a tourist here as well, by the sounds of it. But if you want to make the most of it, you get a nice hotel with a nice room.
Yeah.
And so in this one, we didn't go all in, but we got it was called like the Eiffel Tower suite of the Terrace Hotel.
Exactly.
For the view.
So it's comfortable, good size room.
One of the best hotel rooms I stayed in.
Yeah.
Maybe ever. Top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the real star player here is the view.
It was like, I think a lot of people when they go to Montmartre don't realize how much the view is a part of it.
Yeah.
People think
like you're
charming, winding cobble streets.
But really, you're so high up.
So if you find the right place, so you go there and like full disclosure, we paid full price for the room as always, but I tried something this time. When I booked, they said any notes you want to leave, and I said we're coming for a special occasion. I didn't think I said anything more than that.
Did you specify?
No.
No.
When we arrived, they treated us really nicely.
Really nicely.
They put like a really sweet message in there. They put a bottle of wine.
I know.
I think they said happy anniversary, which I felt guilty about, but it's an anniversary of something.
There's always an anniversary.
Yeah. So there's a tip for you guys at home. Try it out. It apparently works in Paris. I'm going to try that the next 17 times.
Yeah, let's see what the score will be.
But so that place, really cool. And then what we figured we'd do is see things that like were kind of on our bucket list for Montmartre that we hadn't done before.
Yeah. And some things, yes, I know we said we bring something new to you, but some things are not necessarily new, but maybe new for us, or we do it in a new way,
like what?
Perhaps. Well, in this instance, I'm talking about having our portrait painted from Place de Tertre.
Do you want to start with that then?
What do you think?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So every episode that we're doing now, we're trying ahead of time to research like an event or something. It's not necessarily spontaneous. It can be, but it's like that Edith Piaf night in the 20th. We want to find some kind of kernel of excellentness.
And some sort of heart for the district as well.
And something we can bring the photographer along to that we know is going to be visually good. And for this, we'd always thought it was a bit touristy to get your portrait painted in Place du Tertre, where all the artists are. And then we thought, why the heck not do it?
Yeah, like we're not above that.
We're tourists too.
Yes.
So we went up there, and I guess we can give tips for how to do it if you want.
I mean, why not?
Because we did some things exactly right and some things exactly wrong. Like
the wrong thing, I think, is, well, maybe not wrong, but okay. Wrong.
The thing that we didn't think through, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that we didn't really check what the artist's style was.
Exactly. Because I think we planned to get a caricature done.
Yeah, that was the idea. It'd be a bit of fun, you know.
Yeah, and what we ended up doing, because it was partly because we have a photographer on the hour.
Yeah, so we just kind of want to get like speedy.
So we found the first guy who was free, and he was lovely.
Yeah.
Basil, a lovely Polish guy, and he did this, spoiler alert, a charcoal drawing.
Yeah, so what we thought would be like a funny caricature ended up being a cubist charcoal painting.
So I think
interpretation where you look more like Michael Jackson, to be fair. I do too.
I think what Lena's saying is, if they sit across from you drawing, so it's a risk to pay for art that you don't know what you're going to get potentially.
Part of the fun, though.
But a tip I can give you that I think is the same for all of them is, anytime anyone in Paris is working in cash, you can negotiate.
Yeah.
So full disclosure, what happened here is I went up to this guy and I said, how much for a painting for the two of us? And he said 120. And I was like, there was no way I'm paying 120 for this. Plus I'd never seen his work. And I said, I'll give you 50. That's what's in my pocket. And he goes, yep, all right. So use that information if you're ever going to do the same thing. But he turned out to be a really lovely guy. And we sat down at a cafe. It was weird, like the waiter didn't interrupt us.
I know. I feel like they had a little deal going. Yeah, I feel like maybe he brought customers there, and then they sort of take the order when he's done, or something.
So, yeah, but we got a drink, and we got him a glass of wine. He was a really friendly chap, and I said to him, "Do you mind being interviewed while you're drawing me?" So here comes the conversation that we had. I want you guys to imagine that you're in the Place du Tertre.
Yes.
So the Place du Tertre, it's if you've never been there before,
it's quite a small square on the top of the hill, just to the side of the Sacre Coeur.
And it's lovely because it's sort of small buildings around it. Yeah. Restaurants on the bottom floor. I know a lot of people know exactly what we're talking about, like bistros, humming vibe, a big vibe going on there. Residential bit on the top floors, and big, beautiful trees, big, heavy cobblestones in the middle, and everywhere you see people furiously painting, scribbling.
Oh, I love that, furiously.
Oh, there was fury there. Here comes the conversation that we had. Okay, so how long have you lived in France?
I'm come 82, when the period Solidarność in Poland, Valenza, and I was really tired. I was a young man, and I come to this country. I was painter, and I start to working here in Montmartre and with different gallery. I spent 10 years in Paris, 12 maybe, and then I go to south of France, Saint-Paul-de-Vence. It's a small village near Nice, famous for art, for painter. I spent 7-8 years. Then I go to Nizza, to Old Town. Then I go to Spain to working in some big house, do painting of the peinture mural, decoration outside, inside. I spent 1 year. Then I back to Paris. And I'm already 20 years in Montmartre back, and I opened some gallery in Normandy. Then I closed with COVID. It was not so prospect.
So what brought you back to Montmartre? Why did you want to be here?
I have many friends here. I know everybody. Everybody know me. We are like a family, and that's just like magnetism. You need to see. I love it. Speak with person who I draw. Have contact. You can have natural contact with somebody when you can never speak maybe in your life, because it's a famous, important person, and it's a very. I like this style of life. It's really, and another day is never same. It's all the time you have surprise. All the time you have something original. What's happened, and when you come in 9-10 o'clock in the morning, you never know what's happened.
I've got a question for you about your painting style. Is there something that makes a good subject? Like, do you see someone and go, yes, him, I want to paint him or her or draw them? Like, what makes a good person for you?
The first is, of course, when I have choice, you mean, yeah? And first is, of course, physically, because some face is interesting to then you work. like material, you know. And of course, when I have good contact, like with you now, we talk. That's plus. That's much better when you have good person and the smiling. It's not natural and.
May I ask about my face? Do I have a good face for drawing? Do you think?
You are not James Bond, but you look very good. You are a sympathetic person, and I have pleasure to draw you.
Okay. And what about my wife?
My wife, I don't draw already, but you know, she is much beautiful like you, and this is your visit card. That's when I see your wife, I know you are somebody. This is good man. Good.
So you know I'm a good man because of my lovely wife.
If you come with somebody like a Coca-Cola, you know, then you don't have nothing in head, nothing in your heart. But I'm sure you.
I'm going to pay Maistre for this.
Of course.
Maybe the last question I ask you will be about the district again, about Montmartre. Have you noticed in your 10 years here? Have you noticed that it's changing a lot, or is it?
Now we have different period in Normand because. Now, with terrorism, with all situation, now it's very open. Now it's very positive when we are here because the people live in bad situation, and we play a little bit, we show, and I think the people can forget the situation with terrorism, with COVID, with this, and you come here, you drink one glass of wine, and. Then you spend your good time. Sometimes somebody do drawing or buy some painting, of course. But it's like small village. It's not Paris. We are here before 1945 was République de Montmartre separate. Now it's Paris, but the atmosphere stayed like the village don't move too much. It's maybe too touristic shops because we have before. Boucher, coiffeur, épicerie. Now we don't have anymore, but all the time it's village, and everybody know everybody, and that's just really you are at home.
It brings you back, doesn't it?
I'm no James Bond. So that's something worth doing. As for the picture. When he turned it around and revealed it, like you said, it was a cubist charcoal.
Some sort of cubist, futuristic, but like a little bit of a caricature as well.
Here it is. Let's have a look at it now that a little time has passed.
Okay, so a bit of a caricature, except like it's not really accentuating our features. It's more like giving us both big lips and big eyes.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I was impressed when he was doing these huge sweeping motions, but when I look at it, I don't think anyone would guess that that's me and you.
Nah.
What do you think?
It's like Michael Jackson and...
It looks like Pamela Anderson a bit.
I know it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the face.
In the face. Not at the other department.
So, okay, there you go. That's something to do, plastic. I think maybe everyone should, if you know...
I think it's great.
It's a bit of fun.
I really like it.
Yeah. But
I might do it again.
I don't feel that you will.
I might.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, who knows?
We did a lot of other stuff too, and as with every episode in this season, there's going to be a blog post. Of course, that picture will be on social media, on the website. Everyone can check that out, and we'll share the picture. We'll share it far and wide.
So you can judge if there's a James Bond there, or maybe a Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I love the style. I will say that. It's a cool style. I got to defend the dude. Of course, we didn't just do that. We did a lot of other cool stuff on this visit to Montmartre. And I thought maybe we could go through a few highlights and a bit on the vibe. I think if you're a tourist to Paris, if it's your first visit, you should definitely spend a whole day in this area.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And focus on Rue des Abbesses.
Rue des Abbesses is my favorite street.
I'd say, yeah.
Probably my favorite street in Paris. Top 3.
Top 3. You
Yeah,
have a lot of
Rue
you have a lot of streets
Rue
in that
des
top
Abbesses,
3.
Rue Montague.
Okay.
Yeah, those 3.
Very
no more.
good.
But that's really nice. You can't really go wrong. People sometimes ask me what restaurant to go to. Any.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
They're not like hugely different from each other.
It's more about the feeling. It's
the
about the
vibe
feeling.
when you're walking down the streets.
You don't go there to go, I had the
people.
best
creme brulee of my life. It'll be good creme brulee.
Yeah.
Who cares? They're all good.
Yeah.
Right?
A creme brulee is a creme brulee
As
is a
you
creme brulee.
always say. Are you channeling Audrey Hepburn again?
What?
Is that an Audrey Hepburn quote?
I don't know.
I'll go ape. Okay, we're losing it. Back to the... One place I want to recommend where we went for dinner, I thought was really cool. The Moulin de la Galette.
Yes.
Cool history. So Montmartre used to be full of windmills. I think a lot of
Because
people
it used
know
to
that.
be countryside.
It used
like
to
a
be fields,
village,
didn't it? It wasn't even
basically.
part of Paris until, I think, 1860, I think, is when it became part of Paris. And a lot of the windmills gradually disappeared. A couple of them remain. Everyone knows the famous Moulin Rouge, the red windmill.
Exactly.
But a much sort of less famous one is the one that we ate under. And just that is a cool experience. We lived 5 minutes walk from this place, and I always wanted to go in. I was really glad we got the chance to. But it's, to paint the picture, you can see it's this beautiful street, Rue Lepic. Well worth a walk. I love that street. Curve all the way up the mountain. You know, you can get to Sacre Coeur without going up a single step.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact.
I should sell that map.
I mean, there are a lot of steps, but no steps.
Staircases.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so you can go. One of the best ways to get up is Rue Lepic, and it winds up, and towards the top there's a big wooden windmill.
Brown wooden.
Yeah, ancient, and it's got all these beautiful trees going around it, and this happening restaurant underneath. And on the front of the restaurant, in the sort of pillars of it, they have snippets of the Renoir painting. Bal de le Moulin de Galette, I think it's called.
Yeah, that's right.
Bal du Moulin de la Galette. And if you think you're familiar with that painting, it features in Amélie. I think it's the one in Amélie that the old guy is repainting. Remember that?
No, I don't.
She goes and visits a sort of frail old gentleman, and he repaints the same picture all the time. I'm pretty sure it's that one. Sort of a scene.
It's like a garden restaurant party scene.
There's a Renoir painting out the front. On the pillars out the front, and it's the Bal de le Moulin de Galette, right?
Yeah.
And that is a scene from out the back of that restaurant, which used to be this kind of cool place where the young Parisians
When
would
dancing and drinking.
socialites.
Yeah.
So I've always wondered what was in that restaurant, and we finally got the opportunity to go in. And one thing's cool, above the bar, you can see right up the skirt of the windmill, up into the working part of it. I thought that was cool. I asked if I could go behind the bar for a little picture, and they were very accommodating.
They were lovely.
As for the restaurant, it kind of reminded me of the Edith Piaf thing that we did in the 20th.
Yeah. So what we said before, like, either you're going to have really good food or coffee and average place, or
Excellent place.
Yeah, exactly. I think you know what I mean. Here, very cool history of the building itself, and like really, really nice place. Food.
Good French
average,
food.
good enough.
It's funny because average French food is probably exceptional in some countries.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, no one would leave there and say,
It's like, that was the best meal.
yeah.
No, it's the vibe.
But it's
for
funny,
sure.
even they had
I know
on-
we use that word a lot, the vibe.
They give you sort of placemats with quotes from Picasso,
Yeah, exactly.
quotes that are like, sort of little tongue-in-cheek, wink-wink, nudge-nudge kind of quotes about life and women and men and relationships. So it's not exactly fine dining, but it's fun. And it's
fun.
nice. And the waiters were exceptionally friendly. Like, the kind of waiter that they're like, where are you from? Oh, I've got a cousin there. Isn't that nice? That kind of thing.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So
Like a good ambassador or something, you
Oh,
have that,
yes.
like,
Yep.
you make the guest feel really special and like the only guest in the restaurant for 10 seconds.
Yeah. And then they're gone.
Then they're off.
Yeah. Like we even had snails there because we were like we sort of went full tourist.
Yeah, we're we're gonna do it all.
But it's nice. Like it
And
was
frog's
really,
legs.
Did
We
we?
did,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
we
we did.
did.
Yeah, we went all in. So that's an opportunity to do something nice.
Yeah.
I think people would enjoy doing that. If you want something a bit more authentic, we went to a bar right beforehand called Chez Camille.
Oh, I love this place.
Yeah, up on Rue Ravignan.
Yeah.
Hard to pronounce, harder to walk up.
Yeah. Exactly.
One of the really hilly streets, and it's a very picturesque, very like unspoiled by the Instagrammers of Paris.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like any place. That's
It feels very real. It's
Yeah.
authentic. It's not like polished.
yeah, but it's not unpolished.
It's not
like some of
unpolished
these
either.
some of these other bars
It's like
that are
the
a bit too
perfect-
old school.
Yeah. It's a really, really good mix.
But like when those places get too popular, when stupid podcasters share them and stuff. And then everyone goes in there and wants to take pictures and get that same picture, and then it just gets ruined.
Yeah.
Like on Rue des Abbesses, the Vrai Paris.
Yes, the restaurant.
There's a beautiful restaurant with all these flowers on the top, at the top of Rue Germain-Pilon, where we used to live. And unfortunately, there are always people taking pictures there.
Always.
So
because it's beautiful and cute.
And it kind of snaps you out of reality for a minute.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're freezing this moment up there. It's like the Eiffel Tower. Everyone's just always taking pictures. Or the Louvre holding their hand up. And it's weird it just feels like Disneyland a little bit.
Yeah, a bit.
So Chez Camille isn't like that at all.
No.
It's the real deal. It's got like a kind of a half boxing theme, half Elvis Presley.
Yeah. And you know what I love about it as well? Like you get people from all ages.
Yes, that's very Montmartre as well.
Yeah.
Like young.
In the same place.
Really,
and it's like cool young people and then cool old people.
They
and
do
just
seem
like
cool, the old people of Montmartre.
Yeah.
Like kind of, they got stories to tell.
Yeah, for sure.
Not so, spoiler alert, the 16th. A lot of older people there, and I'm sure they have stories to tell, but not the same kind of story. There's no adventure in their stories, I think. But in the 18th, there's this feeling of adventure. So that place is cool. We'll share a bunch of pictures from there as well. Before we get to our scores, and I'm very curious about your scores, we've got to talk about two more things. Coffee.
Yep.
And I think it's only fair we talk about the rest of the 18th for a minute. But first, coffee. We went to a bunch of coffee shops. It was a rainy day the first day that we were there. And
yeah, we needed shelter.
Yeah, we needed shelter. So we popped into a lot. And a shout out to Beans on Fire. Really beautiful. Right on that, at the edge of that street that long-time listeners will remember, the 1942 street. The street that got frozen in
during lockdown,
occupied Paris.
Yeah, they were doing exactly the film set. I was just gonna say about the coffee shop, Beans on Fire, Beans on Toast. Which one is
Beans on Fire?
Beans on Fire is opposite.
Yeah, this fruit shop
that is featured in the Amélie film, and Amélie, it's like kind of heavily connected to Montmartre as well.
Thanks to Amélie. We've had background music for our Instagram stories for 2 years. But
amazing.
There's a whole walking tour you could do. Rue Lepic that I mentioned before.
Exactly.
The Café du Moulin.
Yeah.
From where Amélie works.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much to say. So much we could go on about.
Yeah, and there again, like pretty average food and coffee, but the place itself is really, it's
in
cool.
the Deux Moulins, whereas the Beans on Fire, excellent coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah, and because we went to a bunch of coffee shops, I'll give some shout outs. Ceylon, love Ceylon.
Amazing place.
Le Main Noire, the Black Hand.
Yes.
Exceptional.
So good.
It just on the edge of the 18th, but really cool. And then we went to the 5 Marches, the 5 Steps. We went to 4 coffee shops.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Over 24 hours.
Wow.
But we had lunch and
A lot of
breakfast.
caffeine.
Yeah. That's why we're talking so fast. But I'm going to do a blog post that's like the 5 or the 6 best coffee shops in Montmartre.
Yeah.
I'll be sharing that. Have you seen I've been doing these extra blog posts?
Yes, very impressive.
Yeah,
very good. Yeah, not bad.
And now we finish on a word about the rest of the 18th.
Yes.
Because we didn't go to any of it, and I do feel guilty.
Yeah. And we haven't even talked about the Moulin Rouge, which is also a big part of Montmartre.
Or Sacre Coeur.
Or Sacre Coeur.
Thing is, with these episodes, I think it'd be a mistake for us to just go, okay, here's how to go to the Sacre Coeur. Here's how to climb the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, we've done that before. And I think a lot of you know what that's all about anyways.
Plus, you can find that on anyone's blog.
Exactly. And obviously, when you're around there, go and visit it.
Go and do it, guys.
Because it's amazing.
I feel like this season is kind of for your second visit.
Yeah. Why not?
For your second and third. But I mean, like, Chez Camille. I mean, I'm not hearing that getting talked about anywhere else.
It's so smug.
Okay, the rest of the 18th is largely residential.
Like back of the boot.
Back of the boot.
Back of the boot.
There's cool stuff to find all over the place. Really diverse neighborhoods. In terms of things to find,
it's a big district, isn't it?
It's so big. It's like the 20th and the 19th. It's hard to, like, if you're going to spend a day in the 18th, you want to spend it in Montmartre where there's a billion things to do.
Yeah.
So keep in mind that when we talk about the 18th, we focused on Montmartre just like we focused on the canal.
Exactly.
For the last bit. Which leads us into the scoring because it does affect the scoring. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
I took into the whole district into consideration.
I think I was a bit more generous this time. Yeah.
How the tables have turned.
I know.
So we're trying to score all the districts out of 100 total. Here come my scores and Lena's scores on the 18th arrondissement. Okay, Lena, what did you put for strollability of the 18th?
Strollability, I put a whopping 8.
I put 7.
Okay.
I think
Wasn't that
whenever
whopping,
we're within one of each other,
Yeah.
we don't need to explain it.
Okay, not whopping.
Okay. No, but I mean, that is a whopping score.
Yeah.
But I was just slightly
sure.
behind you. Affordability.
6.
Me too.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shareability.
9.
Yeah, 8.
Okay.
Is very shareable.
Yeah. Very shareable.
Yep. Touristability.
You know what?
Tell me.
Whopping.
Yeah.
10. My first 10.
No, I give 7.
Are you,
We have to discuss this.
Are you serious?
That
It wasn't
you-
even my first 10 either.
You can't say that the back streets on the other side of the hill of the 18th are a 10.
No, and I'm not saying that. I am saying the good bits about Montmartre are so good.
See, but
That
you're
it
stuck in
brings
Montmartre
up.
there.
Yeah, but it's so good. Like they are basically a 20. Okay. And they weigh up
All right.
for the backside.
All right, fair
the
enough.
Back of the boot.
10. What about accessibility?
I can't pronounce that, by the way. Boot. Whatever.
Boot. Accessibility out of 10.
Yeah, a meager 6.
I gave 5.
5, yeah.
It's far away from Paris. It's very hilly. You wouldn't want to have a pushchair
Exactly.
or a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Big cobblestones, small footpaths.
Yeah.
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 We were generous even. So what does that add up to?
For me, 39.
Whoa, I got 33.
Ooh.
So it's 72. Whoa.
Wow.
That's a big score.
Okay.
Okay.
It whooshes to the top.
Whooshes to the top.
Yes.
I think...
Much like this episode is whooshing to the end.
Yes, and on that note, I want to say thanks to everyone for listening. We'll be back with the 17th, followed by the 16th, followed by the 15th, all the way to 1. Also, thanks to Augusta for the photos, thanks to Eddie for the editing, Charlotte for the research, and Julene for the babysitting.
Very
A
important.
lot went into this episode.
I know. Well, that was it for this week, and I really hope you enjoyed.
We'll see you next week. À la prochaine.
À la prochaine.